and we're going to go ahead and see pop calc.exe. Welcome back to Suit Up and Hack. In this video, I'm going to show you how this binary launches calc.exe. But if you run strings on it, you won't find WinExec. You won't find calc.exe, and you won't find kernel32.dll. Nothing. And that's the point. We're going to dive in to the secrets of XOR encryption. And we're going to show you exactly how it works. We're going to pull up this C++ code that I wrote a little bit earlier. And what we first see is we have 3 different arrays. And you'll notice we have basically the hex representation of these. What each of these basically will call out will be kernel32, WinExec, and then also calc.exe. So each of these have been already pre-programmed, pre-XOR'd using Python, where I basically found or obtained the binary characters with the key 0x Tyson. And so with that, the thought process is that if we want to bypass any type of EDR solution, antivirus that is sitting there looking for a string with WinExec or call to kernel32 or anything, we're bypassing that. We're actually going ahead and, in this instance, hard coding for the purposes of this tutorial. And we, again, have already encrypted each of the characters with the XOR key. That has been done beforehand. And what this does is we're going to have a function pointer that we have right here that we're going to call and be able to call dynamically the WinExec function once we have everything decrypted. And so let's get a little bit further into the code here. We see here the XOR decrypt function, which will take the data, the output, the length, and then the actual key, which we talked about it being right here, 0x Tyson. And for the key length, we're going to go through and XOR it with the corresponding character. We go through, and that will give us our decrypted WinExec, calc.exe, kernel32, and so we will again decrypt at runtime with each of these. We're just having these again different. We want to set up our kernel or our different arrays and having them be the size, and so we need to be able to place them somewhere. We call the XOR decrypt and put them into each of the different arrays that we have here. Now we're going to resolve, and the one call we do make will be get proc address, which the get proc address will be calling then get module handle A, and that will give us the address for kernel32.dll. We'll then be able to print showing that, hey, it's resolved at this address, and then we're going to actually launch calc.exe. So let's go ahead and build this. So we're going to build the solution, make sure it has no errors, and we're going to then go ahead and let's see here. Always lose where the compile is in these projects here, and so Let's go ahead and compile this. The build succeeded. Now if we go and take a look at, we have our application that has been created. And again, this binary will launch calc.exe, but we have dynamically brought in the code that we need to make it happen. So we double click on it, and we're going to go ahead and see pop calc.exe. Let's drop this into PEBear. Make sure that our import address table is clear of any possible evidence of what we would be taking a look at. Now let's first take a look at strings. We of course do see the hard-coded address. That'll be something that we talk about in a later, but we don't see anything with regards to WinExec, except for that we printed it. What about calc? We don't see any. What about kernel 32? We don't have that. Let's just check our import table here. And we have just the 11 entries that are currently set here. So in this video, we showed simple XOR decryption and encryption to evade binary scanners, EDR, anything that would statically take a look at and see if this would be troublesome. Make sure to check out this next video, and we'll see you soon.